Hello and welcome to the Leathercraft Masterclass with me, Phil, and in this particular video I'm going to be taking you through the process of how to wrap a regular phone case so that you can take most commercial phone cases on the market and then wrap them with leather to use on your phone or anybody's phone for that matter. Now the issue we face here is most of the leather phone cases that you buy commercially already made by a company. The skeleton, which is the main case on the inside, the plastic for which the leather is wrapped around, is usually made so that there is a little bit of a gap between it and the actual phone that it's meant to fit on, and that way it's making allowances for the thickness of the leather being wrapped around it. Now it makes it a bit of a challenge for us when we want to buy a phone case, say online, in a store, which already fits our phones perfectly. When we wrap them with leather, this causes excess bulk and fitment issues. So this course really is all about how to get around that so that you can have a beautifully wrapped phone case with some of the more prestigious calf leathers, goatskin leathers, even exotic leathers if that's your choice. But we're going to have a little bit of fun in this one and be a little bit more playful as well, and add some other elements to make it a little bit more interesting, so you can either include them in your project or exclude them and just have the wrapped phone case, keeping things minimal and just focusing on the beauty of the leather alone. So let's talk less and do more and take it right to the table. Okay, so let's talk about the materials that we're going to be using in this project. Most of you are probably not going to have the exact same phone as mine, the Galaxy S22, but it really doesn't matter because a lot of these techniques will work no matter what phone case you have, unless you have some very complex fold phone or flip phone or something like that. Most of these smartphones are going to follow these same principles. So the first thing we're going to need is a phone case. Now this is the standard one that I use, just bought off Amazon. Not especially thin, but I've used them in the past and they're great. Dropped them many times on previous phones and it holds up well. But the average phone case is usually a little bit too thick. And if you wrap it with leather, ends up, even with thin leather, feeling quite bulky in the hand. So what I like to get hold of are these slim style phone cases. They're usually a little bit thinner, offer a little bit less protection, but remember when you wrap it with leather, you end up adding more protection to it. So it ends up being about the thickness of a regular case if you get the slim version. It's very difficult to get glue to stick to it. Yes, we'll be sanding it and roughing the surface to allow better adhesion, but some of the materials are quite challenging. So one thing to note, because we're wrapping everything over, that's actually going to help a lot, because any edges which could peel back are going to be inside the case and the phone is going to be applying pressure to that. So with all folded edges, it's going to be absolutely fine as long as it sticks a reasonable amount. But I would recommend just testing the leather first by getting a couple of different adhesives, or as many as you have really. Solvent-based, water-based, sometimes you might be quite surprised what works, but usually solvent-based contact adhesive. I don't recommend PVA. PVA is not going to stick very well anyway. And just put a couple of dabs of different types of adhesive on a piece of leather and on your phone. You can use some white pen temporarily to mark it and write down on your leather and above it which one was which. Glue that down. Wait for it to dry thoroughly, press it in. So once you've left it for an hour or two in a warm place so that the solvent can flash off, peel it off. As long as there's at least some resistance, that's okay. If you go to peel it and it just literally comes off like so, then it's absolutely no good. You need some resistance as you're taking it off. So we're just going to place these. Let me turn it my way so I can see what I'm doing. Place these around, just see where we can actually add. They're not in proportion, so you know. It's just a little bit of fun. So you want to keep it a little bit further away from the edges. and not too close to each other, so try and get some distance if you can. So that looks pretty cool. Might change the angles a little bit, see how I feel. Now, you don't have to do this, it's not absolutely necessary, but it just adds a little bit of a 3D element. I'm going to attempt to add a little bit of an angle to the end of the skiving knife there, a little bevel. Add some space between the prongs and also a bevel on the blade on the little round knife there. So I'm going to take a grooving tool, and I've matched it using the guide and adjusted it so that the line for the bevel on the blade is in line with the blade on the grooving tool. I'm going to go along the end and make a very light groove. Okay, doesn't have to be too deep. Take a skiving knife, ironically, and just take a very shallow angle. We don't want to go too steep on this. Watching your fingers as you finish it off. Take a look at the end, make sure we still have some thickness there, because we'll need that a little bit later. And this is just stuck down with some double-sided tape, forgot to mention. French edger for this one should do it. And on here, what I'm going to do is just see the lines that I've created there for you to give you an indication of where the gaps in the prongs are. If you just go through the tops and the bottoms, and then one near the bottom, not quite at the very end. And then just transfer all those marks. I'm taking a little push grooving tool, which I feel will be a bit more accurate because I can see in front of me. Just start from the first one and move it onto the second one. And then go all the way over the edge. We can take those off afterwards. So there we go. Now we can stick these at the back of the phone case. Okay, so I'm going to apply a little bit of adhesive to the back of the case and also on the flesh side of each little silhouette there. So this coat just needs to be real thin. It's only to support our little embossed silhouettes here. Nothing more. We'll be adding more to the back of the case afterwards as well. Now, I took a quick shot of my phone there beforehand of how I ended up in kind of liking the positioning, so just going to try and reproduce that. We'll be doing this several times, so the first one won't be that impressive. So there we go. And the more layers you do, the thicker and more durable it becomes, and it also starts to fill in.
Carry your craft with you wherever you go and discover how to create a leather-wrapped phone case to protect your device in style. However, a fully wrapped phone case with folded edges could be frustrating to create without the right knowledge, and the alternative of cut edges with edge paint is not a very durable idea at all. Therefore, this course is going to guide you on the simplest techniques to use so that you can have a perfectly clean look even if you don't have access to a leather splitter. The course also includes a PDF download with optional tool decorations if you want to take the design a step further and create a case that demands attention. Get started today. Click the link in bio or visit leathercraftmasterclass.com for more information. Hi, my name is Philip, and this is the Leathercraft Masterclass.